Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining the Chop Shop. And I am with the usual suspect, Mr. Frank F Tank 58. What's going on, man?
Man, hanging in there, brother. What's good with you, man?
Man, I'm living life, looking good, man. Just trying to talk some ball.
Yes,
And
sir.
before we get everything rolling, we would like to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the Chop Shop on YouTube. We reached 1,000 subscribers, and that's really big for us, man. If you really know the story and how we put all this together, man, there's a lot of people that needs to be thanked and commended for the hard work to put this Chop Shop together. Frank, what you got to say about that?
Man, appreciate all the support from the community, from the Rockets community. We got fans overseas, people in Turkey and Istanbul, people all over the world, man. We appreciate y'all supporting us, giving us the motivation to keep putting out this good content. And, like our motto is brick by brick, man. We just getting started. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up for y'all. So, yeah, man. Appreciate everybody, man. We
Yeah,
just getting
man. So,
started.
so as long as y'all supporting us, we will be here to bring y'all, all the latest Rockets content, all the fire content, whatever y'all want. Don't be shy. Leave it in the comments. If y'all would like us to discuss certain topics, we will see if we can get around to discussing them. And anything for the fans. As long as y'all got eyes on us and supporting us, we will bring you the latest content. And the latest content in the Rockets world right now is the KPJ extension. Is it good or bad timing for this organization in your eyes, Frank?
I mean, I think right now is I can see it in both ways. Like you got to look at it from KPJ standpoint and from the Rocket standpoint. From KPJ standpoint, if I was him, would I want an extension right now? I think I would because honestly, it's guaranteed money, and there are a lot of factors that he has to consider when going into the next season. I know some people may suggest that he tries to like basically ball out and earn a bigger bag this coming season. But I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong. And the pressure of him having to, be perfect and be this like all world player that he needs to be to even get that contract. I don't know if I was him, I put myself in that situation. And from the Rocket standpoint, is really if they do agree to anything right now, I would assume it got to be at a discount because there's no reason to like basically uh, try to outbid yourself because right now as it stands, we're the only one in the market for him. And we could just sit back, chill, let him go into restricted free agency and see what the market holds. But I think if they do try to make a deal right now, it'll have to be some team friendly that gives them a lot of poison pill options to get out in case things go wrong. And what I mean, something that they can kind of get on a bargain that it doesn't really hurt anything, at the same time works for him. So I'm curious to see what you think about it.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to be on a bargain type deal, but it's really all hinges on KPJ when you sit down and look at it. Is he's going to be satisfied when he's seeing, such and such getting this bag and such and such getting this bag? Is he going to realize, the past mistakes he did put himself in this position to where he costed himself money? Um, and that's growth and maturity. Is he's going to be mature enough to say, this is my true value in the league? This is the only team that really wanted me. So am I gonna try to rock that boat and go back to, possibly on waivers and his story how he came up. So it's all depends on KPJ, but I think it's gotta be a team friendly deal just because you gotta protect yourself from some of the KPJ antics or future antics. And it's just cost him money, and let's see how he handled it.
Yeah, and I've been hearing a lot of like emotional appeal for this, which is great, but I mean, people got to realize this is business, bro. Like this is the NBA is a business, and as much as we love to uplift and get people on the right track and be patient with them, there's obviously there's competing priorities when it comes to running a team. I think the Rockets are going to go into this trying to look out for themselves first, and then Kevin Porter Jr. and vice versa. I think Kevin Porter Jr. and his agent should try to look out for him. To me, if they offer me something that I feel like is good, maybe it's not what I like right now, but if maybe you get a 3-year deal, some, in the, it could be anywhere from like 14 to like 16, 17, 18 range. Maybe you don't have to guarantee the whole contract, but if I'm KPJ, if you telling me you put money in my pocket for the next 2 years that I can get like 30 mil, bro, I can get that bag down the road. You feel me? Why not go ahead and take time to cultivate yourself as a person? Because it's not something he can fix over a summer, over a few months. Whatever issues he has off the court, and even some of the on the court stuff, like you got to take time to like address those things. And it's not, as we know, as human beings, and me and you a little older than a lot of the fan base. When you 20, whatever, you think your mind ain't even grown. Your brain's still developing. So, like, you know what I mean? For him, I take the money, let me secure the bag right now. I'll bet on myself long term rather than trying to put all this pressure on myself in the short term that it could implode in my face and I end up with nothing.
What I would do, I would give him almost like an NFL deal, man. You're gonna have it's NFL deals is all about show me production and you'll get rewarded. Most of them. If trying to make that top dollar and you got a little bit concerns with you off the field. You reach milestones to get paid. And you gotta have a heavily incentive based contract to where if he don't perform, it's entirely on him. You gotta play this amount of many games. You gotta get this amount of many assists. You can't be late to practice. You can't be coming in you know not ready to do your job. Anytime like anything along those lines, he's gonna have to get penalized for him or strap him up, be a man, and come and do your job. It's going to affect your pockets. So you got to have them interchangeable to where if he messes up, it's coming out of his pocket. Because ultimately, we see with a lot of athletes, that's how you get their attention. You go in them wallets, you go in them pocketbooks, that makes them straighten up a little bit. So before he even get a bag, I think he got to make sure he secure the bag. And the only
That's
way
facts.
he's going to secure the bag is his behavior. And it's sad that we talking about this, like a guy's behavior when he's so talented. This guy is so talented that his behavior is really holding him back for like 80 million bucks.
That's crazy. And that's not even like, to me, that's the saddest part of all this. Because to me, in his class of players, if he was a model citizen, he'd be getting that Anthony Simons type deal, probably from Cleveland, because we
Yes.
know he can play. And I think that's really the takeaway from all this for any young athletes out there is like at the end of the day, people want you to succeed, but your actions do have consequences, especially when you get in this grown man world of business. And like I said, the NBA of business. And to me, he's already lost X amount of millions of dollars off of impulsive behavior. You want to see him. To me, it's going to take more than just half a season or one season for him to show the NBA that he is a trusted player. So I think there's mutual interest. Secure the bag now, like we saying, show over the next few years that you can be part of a winning franchise. And to me, his talent is like this, is the sky's the limit on what he could do on the court. And if he does hit as an all-star player, then you going after that big bag, whether here in Houston or somewhere else. And to me, it doesn't even have to be at the, everybody talk about the point guard, the not point guard. Man, he's a hooper. The dude can hoop. If you put him at wing, point guard, wherever you want him to play on the court, he's already shown he belongs in the NBA, playing for a team. So, yeah, I think it would be prudent for him and his agent, because I know that agent ain't trying to go to sleep or tell his wife that he might or might not get the check based on what a kid do. So, I think they're going to, if they can meet a number that they like, I can see him getting extended.
I'm gonna just take the leap of faith and says I think he understand his positioning to where he he don't want to feel underappreciated, of course. But as long as you coming at me straight with a decent amount, I think he'll take it because he really genuinely like where he is in his position on this team. Something about having security, it'll make you stay in some places even though you're not getting a bag. Like people wake up and go to work every day just because of that security, even though they still living check to check. But at least I got a job. At least I'm secure with a job. So I think he got to look at it almost in that light because it could be really a paycheck away. He can be on the street just
That's
like
facts.
any other regular guy. So I think Coach Lucas and them have coached him up to where he's starting to click, and I'm just taking a leap of faith. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but just like any guy, any young guy on the Rockets, even I want him to succeed. You know, I want him to succeed because I see the potential he have as long as he's on the court with Jalen Green. And I'm breaking down the film. I'm looking at film. KPJ can be the right guy for this team alongside Jalen Green, and because all eyes are on him when he has the ball. I'm looking at film, man, and I'm seeing wherever KPJ go, he can be going into two other people, two other guys. Two other guys are coming back behind those two guys. He draws attention. He got gravity because they know he is the scorer. So I think if he can be utilized the right way and not trying to be held in a box, and we heard all of this, I think he will, live up to his worth of his contract, whatever that may be.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm excited to see what he does this season, whether he gets extended or not. I honestly think he's about to take a leap in his play because he's due for it. And like I said, talented guy. It's never been a on the court thing with him. It's always been off the court, and he's gonna. I think he's gonna show everybody that what he's really made of. I just think he's just getting older, more stability in his life. Then he can kind of make better decisions, and just comes with maturity, and that's what you want to see, especially a guy that's been given so many chances. So yeah, we'll see how he does, man. But good luck to that brother. I hope he get his money,
Yeah.
and I hope he can get more money after that.
Don't let us down, KPJ, please.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, a lot of Rockets fans, you got a lot of love here. Don't let us down. And like anything doing with the Rockets, Nets, anything, we got to talk about it. We are inextricably linked right now with the Nets. So any type of movement that the Nets does, it reverberates through Rockets, the franchise of the Rockets. So now we hearing rumblings of the Celtics and the Nets engaging in trade talks centered around Jaylen Brown. Is this a smart thing for Boston to do, Frank?
Man, it's hard to say because it's like, do you go for it now, or do you bank on the fact that your young core is gonna be able to step over that hurdle? Now, in history, usually it says it's better off to actually stay with your young core because a lot of teams in the NBA are very impatient when it comes to letting their players develop and grow together and like go through the bumps because everybody want to win now. It's so much pressure on that. From for Boston, I like what they had. I think they were missing like a point guard, somebody that could slow the game down and get Jaeson Tatum in the spots. Jaeson Tatum is not a point guard. Jaylen Brown is not a point guard. As we saw him fumble every dribble that was more than two in the finals. So it's kind of risky, but at the end of the day, man, it's Kevin Durant. You put him on that team, instantly they the favorites to win it all over the Warriors. To me, that's my opinion. Just because he doesn't hurt their defense and he raises their offensive threshold to a whole nother level and adds an element of isolation scoring to their team that none of them had. And so I think that's a calculus that you got to look at. For me, I don't know. This is a hard call to make because I feel like it's a trade that both teams would really benefit from if it did go down. Because I mean, the Nets, to me, this would be like the dream scenario for them. I'm even tripping that they turned down just taking him honestly straight up with some picks, but that's their, you got to negotiate, play the game. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough, bro. I don't know. What you think about it?
It's kind of hard for you to be on either side of this because I'm always for if you got a young core, let's see where it goes. Because but all young cores don't lead to dynasties. That's the thing. So if you got a young core and you believe they're dynastic, like to where they already then won something, even though the Celtics are right on the cusp. They was right on the cusp of winning something. If they're not dynastic, I think you gotta take the shot. I think you gotta go and get, if you think that's that one piece that they was missing. Me personally, I think they went and got the one piece that they was missing in Brogdon. I think Brogdon would be able to set up the table and do what a point guard would do and slow it down when it needed to be slowed down. Whenever Golden State was just running up and down the court on them, and they just kept baby feeding it to him, like, here, take this one, here, take this one. I think Brogdon would have slowed it down enough, and just his game in general is to slow down the game. Brogdon is not really a push and go, run and gun type of guy. He likes to play in the half court, and I believe that his strength suited their weaknesses. So it's almost like, man, I'm with you, Frank. Like, how can you not go for KD if KD is sitting there ready for you to get him?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look at what they offered. They offered Brown, Derek White, and a draft pick. So one draft pick, which I'm thinking is probably something in the near future. Now that is kind of low. And it says the Nets want Brown, Marcus Smart draft picks, and one more rotation player, which to me says it could be anybody from Al Horford to Time Lord to Grant Williams or any of their key players. If Boston concedes to that, basically you are gutting your dynasty because them guys are what made the team, especially Marcus Smart. For all the trouble people give him, he's the glue guy. He's the guy that makes that engine go. And we seen how terrible they looked when he was hurt during the playoff run. So, yeah, it's tough. And you know what? The fallout from this, as we seen with Jaylen Brown tweeting out, "Shake my head," is that now you got your player's name in the news out. He know about it. You feel me? So that kind of brings up some of that old bad blood about him and Tatum and who's the guy they're going to pick and who should go forward. So at this point, man, the Celtics, they kind of put their foot in their mouth. So that means something got to happen.
I was about to say,
The way
now
I
it's,
read it.
it's almost like they got to pull the trigger. You got your guy mad at you now, this is another disgruntled star now. This is the seeds that get laid. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people start to ask out, just these little seeds and these little breadcrumbs that leads into a powder keg. You're dealing with human beings here. You can't play with human beings' emotions like this. This guy bleeds, green. He's a
Yeah.
Celtic. And further notice, he just went to the NBA Finals. And now you just want to trade me? That's human nature. He's gonna
Space,
feel slighted. He should
space,
feel slighted.
space. Peep this though. Now the Rockets, let's say they do trade him. What you giving up to get that boy routed back to the H, bro?
What they want?
Dude, I might get a house.
What they want? Shangoon, he can go. I'm
I might get
sorry.
a house.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't
I
know
love
about Shangoon.
Shangoon. I love
I might get a
Shangoon.
house, bro.
I
All
love
them picks.
Shangoon. You know why? You know why I'm saying Shangoon could probably go now? Because we've seen Jabari. He's tall enough to be a 5. He's he's equipped to be a 5. He played defense enough to be a 5. He's a stretch 5. We're not gonna lose anything giving up Shangoon,
I'm
me
gonna push back.
personally,
I'm
for
gonna push
Jaylen
back.
Brown. For
I'm gonna
Jaylen
push back.
Brown.
Nah,
For
I
Jaylen,
don't
we
think you
need
would
that
have to.
wing.
I
We
don't think
need
you would
that
even
wing.
have to do that, bro. We have Brooklyn by the balls for the next half decade. All you got to do is just tell them, hey, you can take your stuff back. You give them their future back. You get Jaylen Brown.
So you think once Brooklyn flip him and get him from the Celtics, they're willing to part ways again with him to get that future back from us? I'm just trying to connect the dots.
I don't know.
This is how you trying to. This is how you put in
I
this
don't know if
scenario.
they would do it. I would if I was them because to me the Rockets, even though a lot of our picks are owned by like OKC and stuff like that, I mean, okay, we got our pick next year. So take back your swap, your 2 swaps, take back your 2 first round picks, and we'll just carry on with business as usual. We still got our cap space. We still have, all the stuff we have that is good for us. To me, the net stuff is just insurance at this point. All that stuff is just insurance in case something go wrong with our rebuild. And if you can find a player in the draft, like I said, you got your 2023 pick if you're Houston. So if you suck next year and you tank, you can still get Wemby or Scoot or whoever. And then you got Jaylen Brown. if you can not land that dude and you own your pick next year, I don't see what the problem is, bro. Because at the
So
end of the day,
so in the let's look big picture. So by us trading them back their future, they tank. They get to, let's say fortune shines well on them. Is that further in jeopardizing our later picks to where we got them outright
we
from
they
them?
would want all of them, bro. I give them everything. I don't want nothing to do with the
You
Nets.
don't you don't even want the unprotected
We're good,
straight up.
bro.
You want to give all of
Yeah,
them
you
back.
can have your swaps back. You can have your picks back. Maybe I keep one, just laid down. But to me, without having to give up a player, maybe just match some salary, I would do it because I feel like the chances of you having an opportunity to draft a player that's going to be a centerpiece next year and then add a Jalen Brown to a team that has Jalen Green and Jabari Smith is too enticing to pass up, brother. That's just too much. Like that's the
But you
piece to me.
but you're not giving up Shangoon.
I mean, if it came down to, what I mean, if that was
If you
the
I was about to
price
say,
point,
if you willing
yeah,
to
come
give
on.
away your
But
whole all of those picks
I
back,
don't think they say we want
Shangoon will
Shane.
be the
Like we
breaking
ain't
point.
doing this because of Shangoon. I mean, I give up the whole farm besides Jabari and Jaylen. Those are only untouchables. I love Shangoon, as everybody knows.
Clarify,
Yeah,
clarify. I'm
go ahead,
clarifying. I'm not
go ahead.
saying let's trade Shangoon. It's not
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
before you get
I'm saying the reason why he even in the thing because I value him so much to where I think he is a somebody will want him off our team
I
if we
don't think
was
it's
to trade
necessary.
for him.
I don't think because the value of those picks is so high that I don't feel like we owe them any players. Because you're giving them their picks back. Not only could they trade them for other players, they could also, like you said, just tank, just be a regular team that's bottom out and do what we did. And so I think there's more value in them owning their future than getting a Jaylen Brown who may or may not even want to be there. He may want to be there or he may not. I mean, maybe he pulls a KD in 2 years and says, I want to dip. Get you a young, like to me, the Nets, they keep shying away from doing things the right way. You in Brooklyn, New York, if you want to really build a contender, tank. Get you some young guys that can come in, give your fan base some excitement, and be able to draft some guys that are going to be there and grow with them. Then add your stars like that. And instead of trading away your future repeatedly to try to build a team like that, and they've been burned twice already. So yeah, I will pull that trigger, bro. Because them picks after we up and running, they don't really mean much to me, honestly.
Yeah, I had already said if they want to be in the best position, dealing KD, it don't matter through hook or crook. They're gonna have to bring the Houston Rockets into this as a 3-team deal or something. They gotta get some assets back from us. Bottom line, I think that's probably what's holding it up. I can't be the GM of the Nets and looking across into the great state of Texas and be like, they got my whole
All your stuff.
future down there. Like, and I got this hot commodity
Yep.
in KD. Let's see how I can finagle enough wiggle room to fit them into this equation to where I can get some of my assets back from
Yep.
these guys. Like
Even think, even
by
think,
hook or
think about
crook, we
this.
got to be a player in this.
Think about this. Think about a scenario where a guy like Marcus Smart is included or Grant Williams. And these dudes are still young, relatively. Maybe not Marcus, but Grant is still a baby. Or Time Lord or somebody included where maybe you don't give up Jaylen Brown if you're Brooklyn. Maybe Houston wants a center. And okay, we'll give you your two swaps for Time Lord. You feel me? So there's so many scenarios that we could get involved in this just by the fact, and we don't got to lift a finger, but just say, okay, you can have your stuff back. You can have this back. Oh yeah, just take, yeah, it's yours again. So we chilling, bro. It's a perfect position to be in. Kudos to the, Stone for putting himself in that position. And I think even though I was very critical of I still think they could have gotten all that and a good player and flipped that player for more. But I could say now the model for the NBA is like to do what Stone did, which is damn the players. I need all your picks, bro. Give me your whole future. You can keep your superstar, whatever. I need the future. And I think that's what the model is now.
It's
And
almost like the quarterback market in football.
yep,
Whoever next up getting traded, oh, I'm getting eight
everything.
rounds. I'm getting eight. Whoever, oh, I need 10.
It's
No
crazy.
matter the caliber of the player, because I'm sorry, Utah fans, Donovan Mitchell is not worth 8
8
round
first
picks
round
of
picks.
any kind. Eight,
Yeah, that's crazy. The
eight,
Gobert trade was there. We already talked about that, but man,
and that's ridiculous.
yeah,
So
they
that's
that's
I'm really interested to see how this all plays out for KD, truthfully.
same.
Because if he don't end up going to a team like Boston with a legit chance of uh capturing a ring and actually getting one, it's just gonna look like, man, KD, you just a product of the Warriors, bro. Like
Hey, I forgot
you
to mention. Listen, wait a minute, wait a minute. We didn't even touch. Bro, this man got swept by the Boston Celtics, bro. How bad would that look too?
to go to another
Yeah, yeah.
team that just creamed you.
That's yeah. That'll not even in context that he done it before. That'll be a weak look. So I'm wondering if he. I don't know, bro. That's an aspect of it, man. He might not even care about his legacy at that point, bro. Like he just gonna do what he got to do. Because if he do that, it's boy, they're gonna be on his neck, bro.
I mean, I had about this much respect for KD already. And you know what I'm saying? Like now if he does this and he go to another stack team and if he failed to win with Boston, it's just gonna look like, man, what are you doing? Like, and then Boston gonna look stupid. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all in the same exact spot that y'all was with Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart and whoever you gave up. You know, I'm just interested to see how it's gonna look out for KD because history is not looking well for him. It really not. Moving right along, we're gonna go back to the Rockets, and we are excited for this upcoming 2023. I mean 2022, 23 season. And I've been just sitting back and thinking about the pecking order. I think is it time to establish a pecking order and get some clear leaders and figure out who's gonna do what at what time. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, I think it'll happen more naturally this year. But I'm gonna shock y'all and think that I think Kevin Porter is gonna come in, and I think he's gonna probably be a leader this year, bro. I just can tell that he's starting to grow up. And once again, I remember when I was 22, bro. You couldn't tell me nothing, dog. I was out there in them streets, bro, thugging, doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
So if you looked at me and you like, I would say, if we looked at us now, like in our 30s, 40s, whatever, or even in your late 20s when you started, having kids or whatever, it's like night and day, bro. And I'll give him the benefit of a human being, of a young man that's like coming into his own as an adult, living life, seeing what he could have, experiencing some good things in life. You know what I mean? Getting booed up with a girl that he really likes, having some stability. I just can see that like clicking in his mind, like, bro, you've been here longer than most of these everybody else besides Tate. So obviously you got Tate, he gonna be a vocal leader, but I think KPJ is gonna take that. That doesn't mean like hierarchy as far as he's gonna take all the shots to be the man. But I just think as far as just being a guy that got to lead by example, I can see him kind of being that big brother to a lot of these dudes because I feel like they respect him. If anything, like even Jaylen, I think they all look up to him in a sense because he big bro. So yeah, I would hope. To me, if they do that, that's good for him. And it's good for the Rockets because he's very talented, and I feel like he's a guy that can lead.
I'm almost glad you said KPJ. You know why? Because KPJ is the extension of who? This man right here, Coach Silas. And that's who I'm looking for to actually step up and be a leader this year. Not in name, not in coach, just because he's a coach. I want him to be the leader this year because if anybody got more to lose this year on this whole Rockets from Tillman Fertitta down to the ball boys, Coach Silas got the most to lose this year. I think if he don't come in and show that he can actually is a competent coach, and I'm not saying that he isn't, but he actually got some tools in his tool chest right now. He got some things he can work with now, to where we should see at least uh incremental growth, progression. From day one to Christmas, from Christmas to the trade deadline, from trade deadline to the end of the season. We should see incremental growth if everything, injuries permitted. I'm really looking for Coach Silas to step up, really, to be vocal. He was talking about finding his coach's voice. I need you to find that this year. I need you to hone that this year. I don't need Coach Lucas, even though as how animated he is, I don't need him doing that. Because when the buck stops, it stops with you. Coach Lucas been here for 20 some years. I think he's safe almost. Coach, all eyes are on you, and there's more eyes looking at you than you would expect. So I'm gonna say Steven Silas because I think, like you said, on the court, Jabari, Jaylen, they gonna figure it out. But who are they gonna lead? Who are they gonna follow? Who's gonna be? Is they gonna be is he gonna be the head coach? Head? Is he gonna be in the front? Is he gonna be the head coach? That's all I want to see, bro.
No, I ain't mad at that, and I definitely off the court. Yeah, he's like he said, he's still trying to figure out how to hold them accountable and be also cognizant of their personalities and things like that. Which he's young himself. I think it's a big season for him, not just for wins and losses, but just to show that he can establish a culture and kind of be, like you pointed out, a coach that can has a voice that is respected throughout the locker room. I think with Christian Wood and some of the actions that went in last year, regardless of what people feel or how they like him, whatever, it doesn't look like that to the public. And it doesn't matter what me and you think or what Houston fans think. Really, the general NBA landscape is what determines a lot of the perceptions that people have of players and coaches. And to me, a lot that can impact whether he can get another coaching opportunity down the line. So, unlike everybody, they say that we're gonna tank or do this. I think this dude about to coach's butt off this coming season. I think you're gonna see him step it up a little bit. I think you're gonna see him kind of be able to get more comfortable in his role. And I think the fact that they added some people to bolster his weaknesses is crucial. Just like players, when get LeBron some shooters, get Luka some guys that can play defense. It's the same thing with a coach. If a coach ain't tough, get him some, get him a coach that can do that. If he's an offensive coach like with Mike D'Antoni, get him a defensive coach like with Budenholzer, with Bizdelic. I'm sorry. So it's it's a good move by the organization. Let him pick some of his guys, and yeah, I expect him to be much better this year. And to me, all of it goes hand in hand. The KPJ piece, him, I think as they come into their own, that's going to take the team to the next level. Because if they don't, I don't know. Because I feel like they might be tied to each other in a sense. I can see a scenario where if he doesn't work, then maybe KPJ is out the door as well.
Yeah, I agree. I just want him. I just want him to succeed. I want him to look like. I just want him to look like the coach. I don't know if he's been looking like the coach these last 2 years. I know he's been stressing like the coach, but I want him to enjoy being a coach too. I want him to get some confidence, get some swagger, get these boys moving in the direction. Like all of these 2 years wasn't for nothing. Now I'm seeing the progression. I'm seeing why we did things. He want to be he need tangible evidence that his job is that he's doing his job well too. And the tangible evidence is seeing progression on the court, whether you count them as wins or losses or whatever. He needs to see progression, and I think once he sees it, I think he probably will step up and coach a little harder. I just want to see him coach a little harder. I don't want to have to beg 78 and 79 games for him to get kicked out, for him to actually get a tech. So I just want him to show a little bit more emotion, a little bit more fire, get these boys lead, get these boys moving in the right direction. That's all I want. And right about this time, we got something up for Mr. Frank. This is the lightning round.
All right, I'm gonna preface this by saying I don't know what he about to put up on here.
We gonna let y'all know Frank don't have no idea what I'm doing. This is a new segment. Anybody come on the show, we will be doing the lightning round where I can ask you a host of questions. It could be football related, it could be music related, it could be movies related, it could be anything related. Nothing too personal. I'm not that personal type guy, but it's just for our fans and subscribers that's watching, just to get to know people on a little personal level outside of Rockets and just think, how they naturally think and pick their brains a little bit. So I will start off with question number 1. How many points do you think Jaylen average next season?
22.
Does Garuba gets cut before he can make an impact on the court?
No.
Where does KD gets traded to?
Boston.
Where does Kyrie gets traded to?
Alaska. No, I'm playing. I think he stays.
Will LeBron win another ring?
Yes.
Are the Celtics the best team in the East?
No.
Who's the best player in the league?
Giannis.
Luka or Ja?
Luka.
Is the Knicks cursed?
Yes.
Fill in the blank. If D Rose never gets hurt, he's a blank.
He's a good player. I don't think he'll be MVP again, regardless.
All right. Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society?
Boys in the Hood.
Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie.
Snow or heat?
Snow.
Off top?
Snow, right, bro. We in hell right now. What you mean snow? What you mean snow or heat, bro? I'll take snow, right? I'll take the freeze right now, goddamn.
Straight up. Yeah, that was good, man. Good, man. You was on
I
your
like
feet.
that. Okay.
You was on your feet.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, man. Now I think that's gonna wrap us up, man. That's a good place to leave off. Chop Shop. Thanks again for all the subs. Thanks for all the views. Thanks for all the comments. Leave them, like them, share, subscribe. That boy Frank is a genius breaking down film, man. Like he's doing this thing, man. And all we want is your support, just like what you're doing. Just keep on doing what you're doing. We're gonna keep bringing it to you. You got something to say, Frank, before we get out of here?
Just off of what you said, appreciate, man. Y'all don't know this man's space, all these graphics. I don't know how he do it, but this dude is a sicko in the lab with the engineering work. We got all our writers. Just shout out to the whole Chop Shop crew, to James, Allen, to Edo, to my boy Coop with the draft. You feel me? Our boy Rock, where you at, bro? Come home, dog. We ain't seen Rock in a minute.
Yeah, we need you back.
We need you back. Come home, brother. I ain't forgetting nobody else. I'm trying to think and make sure.
That's pretty much it,
right?
That's pretty much it.
Man,
and my boy Jay Cooley.
Oh yeah, Cooley. Mike Cooley. with the spaces.
With
you
the
know
spaces.
What I mean? So yeah, shout out to everybody. Even shout out to your boy Zay, bro. Zay was a little bro out there, came in with us. You know what I mean? But just appreciate everybody that's added a brick to this house we building, man. We
still got much love for you, Zay.
Yes,
you know that.
Yes,
it ain't gonna stop though. As long as you keep supporting us, we will keep bringing that nice hot Rockets content, man. Thanks everybody for coming out. We will see y'all again on the flip side of the Chop Shop. Chop it up, baby.